I'm Damien. I'm the warm-up act, really warm today, and senior agile coach here at Moo. And tonight I'm going to talk to you about something I'm really passionate about, and that's a model or coaching model called Clean Language. So, very quickly, has anyone ever heard of Clean Language? Not swearing, not dirty language, yeah, that's right. Anyone else? Oh, I've got one at the back, one over there, 3, 4, 5. Wow, nice, excellent. Okay. So can anyone tell me then, what is clean language? Go on, sir, at the back.
Asking questions, for example, without providing hints of the answer.
Oh.
For example, maybe, what's wrong with your letter? Implies that there's something wrong with the letter, rather than saying what's wrong. Gives the recipient the opportunity to respond in any way.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that explanation. So it's a way of having a conversation without putting your stuff in it and assuming something's wrong up front, which is really nice. It's a nice way of talking to others and talking to people. So tonight, I really want you to experience clean language, but to get there, what we need to do is really thoroughly deep dive and start at the beginning. Okay, so clean language, it's about this. It's about how we understand other people. It's a set of questions that were developed by someone called David Grove, who sadly is no longer with us. But I mention this because there's something really interesting about the history of clean language here. When David Grove originally came up with these questions, he was studying to be an occupational therapist. And part of that training was writing up patient therapy notes from the patient sessions. And in doing so, he started noticing a pattern or a trend. And the trend was those patients that responded better to treatment and stuck to the actions were the ones where the therapists were replaying back what was said, instead of listening, interpreting, and playing back what they thought they heard. And this is really unique to how clean language developed. So again, yes, it's a way of modeling, of having a conversation without putting your stuff in. Most importantly, though, and for you now, what kind of questions are there? And there's all these questions, and I've only got 30 minutes. So, how would you use those? And I'll give you a quick, really brief example. Where X is, that's where you're putting the other person's stuff in. So, for example, very quickly, if you were to ask me, Damien, what kind of jam donuts do you like? And I go, oh, well, I like the ones from Sainsbury's or Greggs. And is there anything else about those jam donuts? Yeah, they give me a really sugary hit after I've had one. And is there anything else? I'm then a bit tempted to go and get another one, but then I feel a bit crap afterwards, and it's not worth it. I know it's not worth it. And then what happens next, and so on and so forth. It's a very quick overview of how you would use it. Fortunately for you tonight, we are only going to be using 2. And this is where I think the magic really hits home for people. Because we're going to learn as much as we can about the other person's stuff using just these 2 clean language questions. Okay, that's all good. But how does it help you? Okay? Well, if you're doing something like my job, so you're a Scrum Master or a PM or PO, and you're usually gathering requirements, there are usually 2 things going on here. First, you could be assuming that the other person is understanding you, and the second thing is you're not giving the other person a chance to be understood and replaying back that conversation to them. So they're not having a chance to explain what they mean. Okay? Either way, you can see how easy it is very quickly, based on assumptions, to gather the wrong requirements, build the wrong thing, and then you end up having to drop a release or cancel what's going on, etc., etc. You don't really want to go down that road or avenue. So, demo time. I'm going to shunt this one over here a little bit. Okay, so for the demo, I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience. Anyone? Hey, okay, this guy. Okay. Hello, sir, I've never met you before. Okay. Okay. So for the demo, don't need all that stuff yet. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 demos here. Jazz, if you'd like to join. Okay, and the first demo is how it often happens. Okay, how you go and gather requirements, and if you see what's happening in this demo in your workplace, I'm really sorry. We're looking for people. And the other demo will be how you could do this with clean language. Okay, so the demo is Jazz is going to be a PM. He's going to come with a feature or story card or whatever type of card you'd like to label it as. I will be the developer. Little known to other people is that I was a developer for 10 years before becoming an agile coach. So I've got this down. Okay, I'll show you how it's done. The second time around, we're going to do it with clean language. Okay, and you're going to hopefully notice a big difference. Sorry for the people at the back. So when you're ready, Jazz, PM.
Hi Damien, I've got a really important story. I'm really busy. I want to give this story to you, and I want the user to be able to check out.
Oh, the user can check out. Okay, sure, why not? You want PayPal?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, great. What about emailing them to let them know the order's complete?
Yeah, that sounds very responsive.
You know, I know a great third-party API where I can send this stuff out for via post. So I'm just going to put that in there as well. It'll be fine. Before it gets around GDPR, trust me.
I can't spell APIs.
Great. Perfect. And also, finally, I have a new iPhone. So I'm thinking you want Apple Pay as well. Because no one uses Android, right? Yeah, great. Excellent. Oh, great. All right. So when do you need this by?
Couple of weeks.
I tell you what, because it's me and I'm the best developer in the world, I'll give it to you in a week. 3 days. 3 days, come down. It'll be fully ready to go. We'll launch it into production. No problems. Promise you. All right. See you. Bye.
Thanks, cheers.
Round of applause for the Steve. Okay. How it often happens. Does that happen to anyone? Not admitting. Okay, very good. So, demo 2. We'll reset the scene. And the most important part here, thank you, is I'm not changing role. I'm not becoming the PM. I'm not becoming any other role apart from the developer. Jazz will still be PM or PO, whichever you prefer. And the important thing is these questions can be asked by anyone at any level. The receptionist, the janitor, the guy who refills the coffee machine, right? It doesn't matter. The important thing is if you're asking these 2 questions, you're going to discover how much there is to gain. Okay. One second. Good. So, these 2 questions. What kind of? Is there anything else? When you're ready.
Right, so Damien, again, really super busy. I need this story done ASAP. I want the user to be able to check out.
User. Card conversation confirmation. User can check out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of user can check out?
Anyone who works in procurement.
Procurement, okay. So, right, procurement. And is there anything else about the user?
Yeah, they're quite often got tight deadlines.
Tight deadlines. Deadlines, okay. And is there anything else about checkout?
Yeah, I want it to be as intuitive as it can be. I don't want it to think too much. As few fields as you can.
Few fields, okay. And what kind of tight deadline?
Well, sometimes I need to turn things around in just a couple of days. So 48 hours sometimes.
Things around 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And is there anything else about tight deadlines?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. What kind of intuitive fields are those intuitive fields?
Ones where they literally have to enter the minimum amount of information so that they can get their order onto the site and they can click submit.
Thank you, Jazz. Round of applause for the stooge. Thank you. Okay, so notice what you notice. Would anyone like to volunteer what the main differences were between the two demos just now? Yes, sir.
I think I found you kind of.
Oh, no, okay, no, you can.
I was like, you just building on any content that came from his mouth. You didn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, so just what he was saying, building on content, nowhere else. Anyone else? Yes.
You were trying to understand what you wanted before you were already applying a solution that you had in your mind.
Thank you. So, understanding.
And you wasn't proposing any additional stuff. Like before you said Apple and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Here it was, you stuck to the user's need and that's it.
Thank you. So sticking to the user's needs, we got examples. And all that stuff, their stuff, with just those two questions. And most importantly, what I like to do is this next trick, right? And I'll show you very high level very quickly. But now I've got all this stuff, I can now start circling, hey, there's my spike. There's a potential release. Here's the stuff we may not need to worry about. Okay, I'm now building, if you do any kind of user story mapping or things like that, a way of defining the roadmap on way of delivery. And it's all come from the product owner, not the developer. And we've worked together on creating this solution. So that's it in a nutshell, so to speak. And now the best bit, it's your turn. Yay, you get to experience and try this now. So, some house rules before we begin. I would not be a great coach if I did not ask you to just follow some of these things. Give me a second. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. Okay. So, things like keep what you hear tonight confidential. Remember, it's their stuff, not your stuff. Okay? Sometimes when I use clean language, because it comes from therapy, when the way the question is phrased or implied or the tone of it can sometimes lead people down answering the question incorrectly in this demo. Okay? So I'm just making you aware that things may happen. It's fine if it does. Just put your hand up. I'll come running around. I'll help you. Listening. Okay? So we're listening to understand, not listening to respond. I could talk all day about active listening and levels of listening and things like that. We're not simplify it, right? Just be curious. What's going on? Focus on what's being said. Be respectful of the answer. I don't know what's going to come out. Okay? And also, if you've got electronics, negotiate between you and your partner whether you need to turn them down, turn them off, etc. So, I'm going to ask you very quickly to decide who you're going to pair up with. And one of you will be asking the two clean language questions. And the other one will be answering the two clean language questions. Oh no, but what's the question you need to ask? Find out as much as you can about the answerer's journey to the meetup this evening. That's it. If you so wish, you may change that slightly. What's your journey like from home to work, or from work to the airport? Okay, it's down to you. You negotiate how you answer that question and experience it. If this is too uncomfortable, put your hand up and I'll come along with a different type of question. Okay, but for now, this usually works as the simplest way so you can experience clean language. And then your job as asker is to ask two clean language questions. So remember, X is where you put their stuff in, no matter how odd it sounds. Yeah? Just go with it, trust me. You'll understand how uncomfortable it feels at first. But once you get good at this and practice it, you'll be rolling with it and be able to use it straight away. So, amongst you should have some pens and post-it notes. If you don't, you can get your phone and just use Notepad or the text app on the phone just to jot down notes and reminders for yourself to jump about the conversation, like I did with Jazz. Jump over here, hey, oh, I've just thought about this. That'll be interesting. Okay, so. So, we have, may I have your attention? 1 minute, guys. No, I've lost you, I've lost them. All right. Pair up. You two want to pair up?
Well, you can see part of the
Okay, so we have 2 minutes for you to find out as much as you can about the other person's journey. We'll take 1 minute to reflect and find out what you did, what you found out, switch, and try again, and then I'll close. So, with 2 minutes ready to go, Jazz has the timer. Go. Thank you for that. That's cool. Okay, 2 minutes. Your first time trying clean language, most of you. How was that? Does anyone have any observations to volunteer?
It's quite difficult to, I wouldn't say it's difficult overall, but it's quite interesting trying to form sort of a simple question into that kind of question.
Okay.
So what kind of journey is quite easy enough to come up with. But then later on down the line, when you have a bit more information, sort of like someone says a tube, I mean, is there anything else about the tube that you want to tell me about?
Perfect. Perfect, right? At that moment, that's perfect. And you're just staying in their stuff, or your stuff. So, good. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm wondering if you get too much information.
Yes, you can, which is why we set some house rules up at the beginning.
I would say the same thing, same observation. I have learned more stuff than the context.
You learnt more stuff than the context. So I did this once at another conference, and the question was the same. What kind of journey did you have from home to the conference? Someone started talking about when they were 10. Okay, no, bring it back, focus on this. And this is important, because you need to experience it now to understand when it's going wrong or going off, and going away from what you really want to focus on. Okay, so we have another 2 minutes, so I'd like you to switch with your partner, please, and off you go. Thank you. Yeah? Hello, welcome back. Okay, so second time round, you've heard the questions a couple more times. How was that?
I experienced the same thing when he was asking me the questions. You start getting an idea about the person itself. So basically, what the customer is. So yeah. So basically, for me, probably I talk with my family. So am I close to my family or not? If that kind of question can come in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
my friend here, he likes to be on time. And
Okay.
if he's not on time, he's not happy about it. So,
Okay,
so you start getting a little
nice.
bit about the person itself.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for sharing. Is anyone else? Yes.
I found that quite difficult actually, because it was a case of, how did you get here? And then it was a bus, and what kind of bus was it?
Okay.
It was a tourist bus, and was there anything else about the bus? there was a dog on the bus, and so yeah, it was. But that's as far as I got.
Okay.
That's absolutely as far as I got. I couldn't get any further.
Nice. What kind of dog? Thank you. One more. All right, one more.
Yeah, I found it frustrating because I had particular questions that I wanted answers to that weren't answered, and I couldn't answer those questions.
Yep.
Like, how long did it take to get here?
So how long?
Well, he did it.
So your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Very difficult. Very.
The reason I didn't give that is it wasn't important. It was a nice sunny day, so I didn't really care how long it took to get.
What kind of not important? Sorry. All right. Too much. Okay, so thank you everyone for trying this. And notice what you notice. And a very quick story about how I used this and the first time I realized how powerful clean language could be. So I'm working somewhere, contracted out to another company. It's the PO's last day. I'm working with a bunch of teams, and this PO comes down with the Chief Operating Officer. Okay, I'm thinking to myself, this seems a bit odd. Why has this guy come down with this guy? PO's last day. Wanted to introduce the COO to the team, the people who are going to get the job done. Okay, I'm all for open transparency and visibility and coming down and meeting the stakeholders, but this was still odd. No meeting in my agenda or in my calendar, etc., etc. He goes, "Hey, Damien, you're their coach. You want to listen in on this?" I politely decline at this point, thinking I don't know what's going on. But I did do something else. I took my pen out, I got the paper, and I started writing down what was being said. Everything being said. Not for evidence, but for my own playback, right? The important thing here was, after 10 minutes, I saw no problem, no remedy, no outcome for why the COO was here, why he was talking to the team. So I stopped the conversation and I asked, "Sorry, what kind of problem is that problem?" That moment I asked it, he said, "A customer is threatening to leave us if we don't fix this bug in production. They're gone. They're gone." The team I'd been working with, the Scrum Master jumped in that instant and said, "We can fix this. We can do the quick fix. We can do the long fix." He went, and the COO was like, "I really want the quality built in, and I can negotiate with the customer then to wait another 4 days for the fix to go in properly." In the meantime, this PO was kind of like trying to divert the conversation away from the fixes, but it was too late by this point. Okay? The team and everyone was working together to resolve a real problem for the business, to add value to the customer, to retain a paying customer. And for me, that was the first experience I had of going, wow, I just solved that. 2 different worlds, 1 question. Okay? So I look forward to the moment any of you get the chance to ask a really good, clean question and just resolve a problem instantly and move the conversation on. So, with about a minute or 2 left, I'd like to invite you all to reflect for a moment about what was most valuable to you about doing this and how could you use this going forwards. And when you're ready, just shout out an answer. Yes? Learn to listen to the other person. That's wonderful, thank you. Anyone else? So the first question is to clarify, and the second question is to elaborate. Thank you. Yes?
I think for prioritising features and what's coming next, it's quite very quickly you get to the point of what the most value to the team working now.
Nice, thank you. So prioritising features and getting to the point very quickly. Anyone else? Yes?
Keeps your line of questioning very simple.
Thank you. Line of questioning, very simple. And finally, one more. If anyone's got anything to volunteer? One at the end? Yes?
I'll use it to have better conversations with my technical and to educate them how to get better out of their stakeholders.
Thank you. So better conversations with the tech devs. And also, if I may suggest, if you're a line manager and the person you're line managing doesn't quite know what they mean, ask them one of the 2 questions and clarify with them and help them understand themselves and what they want. Most useful in those conversations as well.
I could use it to actually annoy my kids as well. What kind of glass? What kind of orange juice?
Yes, you can. I like this. I like this. Yes, I approve. So, that's everything. Thank you for being a wonderful audience and listening and trying this.